All right. So welcome everybody to Treehouse Community Gathering meeting number 3 on January 9th, 2019. My name is Aaron McDonald. I'm one of the hosts along with Adam Wilson, who hopefully can make it today, Peter Schmidt from GenieCore, and Catherine Anderson from Scirocco Digital. So for those of you that are new to the Treehouse Community meetings, BC Community, for those that were Adobe BC partners, was a huge community, important community for especially the longtime partners. And for those partners joining the Treeple team or new to the industry, community is what has made BC so strong. And so we wanted to keep it going with the Treehouse community. The goal of these meetings, of course, is to discuss online community meeting, the online community and how much we can help each other out. And to date, since joining Treeple, the response time from the Treeple crew and the other partners has been fantastic. So just keeping that going, it just helps us all along and helping grow this amazing CMS. So just a couple meeting rules. Feel free to listen in the background if you guys want to. That's totally fine too. All I ask is that you guys mute your mic, just because we can hear coughing and clicking and all that kind of stuff. And if that usually happens, the video appears as well, so it's kind of odd. We have Donna and Nicole from our team. Donna's going to be managing the chat room as well. So if you guys feel like posting some questions to be answered near the end of the meeting, just use the chat button, and I think Donna's already added a chat message. Just make sure when you're using chat, direct message her if you need to direct message her, or you can just open it up to the community as well. So today's meeting, this is number 3. The last few meetings have been they've been long, but also just cramming as much information as possible. I'm assuming this meeting is going to be about the same. We're looking at changing the structure of how the Treehouse meetings are going to be in the future. Whether we kind of give little snapshots at the main Treehouse meeting, and maybe we also have a supplementary sort of how-to meeting as well. So I'm going to take a poll during the session, the meeting today, to get everybody's feedback on sort of how we want to move this thing forward. So if anybody just right now, if wants to make a quick introduction, we'd love for you to say hi and where you're from. So it's always nice to find out where everybody is located in the world. So if anybody wants to start to say hi. Peter, why don't you start?
I will. I'm in Orange in Australia. It's about 8 o'clock in the morning. I have a number of BC sites, and I was rather devastated when they did what they did. I've started migrating one site, and it's been an interesting journey.
Thanks. Anybody else want to say hi?
Yeah, I'll say hi. I think I've met most of you before in previous meetings, but my name is Alex. I'm in Vancouver, BC, not too far from where Aaron is. I'm a front-end web developer. I work for Centrifuge Media Lab here in Vancouver. They do mainly biotech startups, and they were BC partners previously, and now they're Treeple partners, and I pretty much work exclusively for them these days. We've done a number of migrations. We've got about 3 migrations that are actually live, and we have 4 more that we're working on right now. And we've got 2 or 3 live sites on Treeple. So things are coming along, working out the bugs, figuring things out. So yeah, that's me.
Hi there. I guess I know I introduced myself, but I'll do it for the benefit of everyone. I'm Gilles Paquette. I'm in Toronto. Just going to follow up the Canadians there, I figure, that are here. I'm with Come On Go Creative, so we're first and foremost a creative agency. So we started off in marketing, collateral design, and development, and quickly grew into digital. And we became a BC partner in 2013, and then that quickly went downhill from there. So we have a few clients that we're waiting. I'm just waiting on. I'm really excited about Treeple, and I'm just waiting on Treeple to get the whole e-commerce piece set up so that I can migrate those clients over. So they're still chugging away on BC right now with a lot of issues that crop up. And I'm a code production partner as well, so I use them for coding as well, because I'm not really a back-end developer myself. I do mostly front-end stuff, so I use them as my backbone. That's me.
All right. Anybody else want to say hi? All right. We're going to keep going here. Okay, so we were going to review the latest sprint. I'm just wondering, I know we have Alex here. Alex, did you want to give us a quick update on V3 sprint?
Hi guys, it's been deployed right now.
Like right now?
Yeah, and I played with it a couple hours ago. It looks fantastic. It's just amazing. Those 3 features. When it gets updated, you should start with the menu configurator.
Okay.
It will be updated 99%. It will be updated during the session.
Okay.
So maybe we could make a quick view in the end.
Check it at the end. Yeah, for sure. Okay, then maybe what we'll do is we'll review the Sprint version 2.4 and 3.0 at the very end of this as well. So, do you know, Alex, if reCAPTCHA was included in that as well?
I don't know. I should ask Claude.
Okay, yeah, let me let us know about that. Okay, perfect. So we're going to move on to the questionnaire. So I'm just going to share my screen here. So thanks to everybody that submitted their questionnaire. That was fantastic. So hopefully you guys can see. Just give me a quick thumbs up if you guys can see my screen. Okay, good. All right. So as mentioned at the start of the meeting, I just wanted to get a general summary of current Treepl partners, whether they're new or existing partners, and sort of where we can morph these meetings into. Because as you guys know, we're not even though we're Treepl partners, we're not really associated with Treepl. So this is our community to support the platform, but we're all doing our own thing and working with other platforms as well. So we want to make sure that this is catered strictly to Treepl and all the needs of what the community expects. So I'm just going to run through the responses here, some of which I'm going to run through quickly. Current Treepl partner status. So 15 of the 16 we had as actual partners, one being a free access partner. And sorry, there was 16 responses in case you don't see that. How many websites do you still have on Adobe Business Catalyst? So yeah, it's interesting. We have 11 to 30 websites still is the top one, with 51 plus as the second right up, and then the tertiary one at 12.5. So yeah, I mean, still, I know for us, we still have 38 websites still to go. We have a sort of a running horn in our office that's it's like those I don't know what they're called, the weird bell horns or whatever, but every time a site is deleted from BC, we ring that horn. I'm gonna see if Donna can spot it out there. There you go. So how many websites have you migrated from Adobe Business Catalyst to Treepl? So yeah, we're still sitting in that 1 to 5 range. I know for us, we've migrated 6 sites with potentially 2 more going live tomorrow, with another one going live next week. So it's coming. It's a slow process. For us, we were wanting to go through the easy sites first, just so we can figure out the platform first, and then we're starting to tackle the larger sites. If you've already started migrating websites from Adobe Business Catalyst to other platforms, what other platforms? So just a little bit of response here. It was more just to get some insight. A few people on WordPress, on Duda, Weebly, Blueberry, which is interesting because I don't think they're live yet. And yeah, so looks like a lot of drag and drop programs as well, which is quite interesting. Share some examples of amazing experience you've had with the Treepl CMS platform. Slack community is very helpful. So we heard that a lot of times about the community being awesome and the Treepl crew being awesome. Custom modules have been great to use, comparing them to a BC web app. They're certainly more functional and a lot more capabilities of doing more amazing things. A bit happy with the system so far. Treehouse meetings are great, thanks. There was a few raised the URL trailing / issue, which was corrected within a couple weeks. So that's a good testament of how things are working out with the system and how the Treepl community the Treepl team is listening to us. And this last one, it definitely resonates. I think the team has been amazing with the rapid speed of development. I would have never thought they could have built so many features in a short period of time, which is true. I mean, really, the bulk of it has basically come since September. So there's been a lot happening. What, if any, have been the biggest challenges with Treepl CMS to date? Getting support with log jobs, which I think has been corrected with an actual customer support ticketing system. This one for me definitely it resonates. It's still difficult for clients to edit pages because it's hard to insert images and create links. And I think they were mentioning it was, especially at the page view level. I know for me, especially if you're using you're doing a lot of client work, even something simple as like a link, like you got to copy and paste the URL into this, which is a bit annoying because you want to be able to do this stuff right away. So waiting for e-commerce. The time difference is for support has been one of those things, but also on the flip side, the server time that it outputs for us seems to be about 9 hours ahead. So it's messing with a few of my sites that I'm using the time variable. Recreating URL correct, no mobile, tablet, desktop, which I think has been corrected already. Lack of documentation and examples. Yeah, I think the documentations is a work in progress. It's Adam's doing a fantastic job getting the documentation together. But yeah, I agree. We need more real life examples, which I'm hoping we can actually introduce more in the Treehouse website. And there is sort of a consistent theme throughout here about maybe having some tutorials or code samples, a bit more explanation. So I think I will discuss it later on in the meeting, but I think this is where we're looking at potentially separating the meetings, where we actually have a how-to meeting, and then an actual then keep the Treehouse meeting going. Questions about Treeple CMS, let's discuss them at our next meeting. Again, learning about Liquid, we have a few Liquid newbies in here. And then we have guys that are good at Liquid, but they want to maybe a more advanced tutorial. So again, looking at potentially having some how-to or doing some advanced tutorials on this stuff. Code examples, again, came up again. Custom module search, like it was available in BC. I do have some examples of that. I won't show today, but there is stuff that we've been working on already. Recurring payments for secure zones, yeah. Liquid referencing to be expanded over time. I hate to bring this up, but I use this quite religiously when I was using the BC platform, was this Liquid documentation. So doing something like this, where it has everything, because right now I'm having to revert to the documentation. I'm using the string me, I don't know how to pronounce it, the date filtering one, and then I'm also using Shopify Liquid tutorials or the page as well. Keep going through here. I'll send a copy of this to everyone so you guys can read through it. I don't want to read through every single one here, but there is definitely a consistent theme through here about tutorials, code snippets, and just general improvements on the platform. Would you be interested in being a Treehouse presenter? I thought this would be 100% as yes, but it's a small community here, so it's all good. How often should we have Treehouse community meetings? So once a month was the big one. I agree. But again, we were looking at doing maybe 2 a month, the main meeting, and then a how-to meeting as well. And then we just had a general question about the general format of the Treehouse community meetings. They were talking about, I think some of this stuff is more related to Treepl rather than Treehouse, but an online chat. Don't always have it on the same day of the week. okay, so next meeting, we're going to move it to Tuesday. So it's not Wednesday. Need more community participation. I totally agree. So again, we hopefully with the new website, when we get it launched, we'll actually have some people submitting some topic requests, and then we'll see if we can fulfill those as well. Slack's been very helpful. Documentation on sitemap generators, et cetera, et cetera. Again, we'd love to see tips and tricks. At this stage, I'm learning about Treeple and replacement. Themes are all there. So I'll send this link to everybody at the end of the meeting. We'll get either Don or myself will send it off to everybody here. So we'll keep going on on this. But before we start, I'm actually just going to run a quick poll. So I'm just going to stop share for 1 second here, and I do have a poll that I created. So if you guys don't mind, the poll should show up on your Zoom meeting window. Hopefully it does. So if it doesn't, just let me know. But I'm going to actually launch the poll right now. So if you guys don't mind just filling this out, that would be awesome. And it's more about the upcoming meetings, the secondary meetings, basically. So again, anybody that's joined, if you guys can fill out the poll, that would be awesome. Hey, Peter, are you able to, you're able to actually use the poll? Okay, good. Oh, okay, I can see it coming through now. I feel like I need to be like playing some Michael Bolton elevator music or something while we're doing this. Okay, so we have 11 of 17 in. And we'll keep this poll going for another minute. So hopefully you guys are almost done. And I'm assuming that we have 1, 2, 3 people from Treeple in here, so who are not going to vote. Alex, you can vote if you want. All right, poll closes in 15 seconds. Can you guys see the poll results as they're going? No? Okay. I'm scared to hit end poll. I don't know what's going to happen if I hit end poll. Okay, I see Mary is joined us as well. Mary, you have 20 seconds to fill out a poll. Craig has just joined us. Craig, you have 20 seconds to fill out a poll. We're doing a quick survey here. 15 seconds. All right, finishing up the poll here. All right, so I am going to end the poll. Share screen. Stop sharing screen. Okay, so we have a poll here, and so the poll was more about future Treehouse meetings, whether we want to have a how-to meeting, whether we want to just dump everything into the one meeting. So quickly, how would you be interested in attending the Treehouse? Well, I'm going to end poll. Hopefully, I don't lose all this information. There we go. Okay, so how would you be interested in a how-to meeting? So 100% yes. Okay, good. So the technical level of the meetings. So basic level 8%, intermediate 77%, advanced level 15%. Okay, that's good. So we could technically tailor the meetings, and then you just register for a meeting if it's of interest to you. Whether we have 2 people or 10 people is irrelevant. Please check the type of topics, Treehouse how-to session you'd be interested in. Intro to Liquid, of course. Post-site launch support, SEO support, what to do's, which is awesome. That's the top level one. And intermediate, migrating from BC to Treeple. Cool. That sounds about right? And would you be interested in having a guest speaker, or would you prefer the same speaker each month? Okay, so it doesn't matter. That was actually more me, just like, I'm sure you guys don't want to see my ugly mug every single week. So, you know, might be nice to have somebody else talking here as well. So, all right, so I will share these results, so you guys can take a look while we're talking here. All right, so I'm going to turn the floor over to Catherine now. She's going to talk a little bit about the sitemaps, some SEO stuff, and some other interesting stuff as well. So, Catherine, the floor is yours.
Fantastic. Thank you, Aaron. I'm just going to bring my screen up so I can do a bit of screen sharing. All right, fantastic. Can you see my screen? Can I have thumbs up if perfect. All right, fantastic. Look, I just wanted to run through the new sitemap automation. It's a fantastic new tool, and just knowing a couple of tricks around it, I think, is going to make a big difference when you get your site live, to make sure that it gets spidered nice and quickly. There's been a few people that have had issues, and I guess we want to just make sure that you know kind of the pitfalls with it, to make sure that it's really seamless for your clients. What you don't want to have is URLs not showing up. So it's a really important part of the go live process. So what's available now is in the SEO tab of the CMS. So once every 24 hours, the system collects all the links and items of all the modules, both system and custom, and we'll write them to the sitemap.xml. So when you jump in the SEO tab, you can see there's this little checkbox here, which enables automation of the sitemap. The other important part is to make sure you've popped in your primary domain for the sitemap. This is a really important part, because if we don't have that in there and canonical links haven't been set, it can cause a little bit of, I suppose, a little bit of a mess with your sitemap. So this is a really important part of it. We don't want to put the www in. We just want to put the from after the dot. So it's, for example, in this instance, affordable.com.au. So the system will exclude any items that are secured by a secure zone, or has a show this page for search engine parameter disabled. So that's this little button in here. So when you're in your SEO tab, if you've got this unchecked, then the URL isn't going to show up in the sitemap. So that's something to be mindful of, because I know a few partners have had issues where they're saying, oh, my pages aren't showing up. So if that hasn't been enabled, it's actually not going to feed that through to your XML file. But once you've actually got this little automation of sitemap checked, next step that you need to do is go into the sitemap, which is under settings, sitemap, and click generate sitemap. So once we've got this all enabled, basically what's going to happen is the system's going to check your canonical links in every item and take it to the sitemap.xml node every 24 hours. So if a link is not available, it takes the primary domain, which we just talked about, which is here, from the SEO settings, and combines the HTTPS protocol, primary domain, and the item URL, and takes it to the sitemap. So then it's going to look like this. So there's your HTTPS, there's that primary domain, and this is the item URL in here. So the other thing it checks is priority. You can see that just listed here too in the sitemap. Now, priority is actually able to be set in the SEO tab of each of the pages and of most of the custom modules. It's here under SEO priority. Now, priority values are relative within your website. So they start at 0.0 and go up to 1.0. So the most important page on your site, your homepage, should be a 1.0, and then it should reduce and decrease in importance. So priority is really important to think about when it comes to your website, because pages with a high priority value, they'll get crawled more often. And if there's like multiple pages that match your website query, you know, that's one of the areas that, for example, Google can look at and say, well, this page is actually seen to be more important than another one. So I'm going to show this one instead. So basically we start at 1.0 and then we move down to 0.9 or 0.8 or 0.7, depending on what the page structure is after that. So we tend to find the main sort of money pages, the service pages and product pages are going to be really high. Things like, you know, privacy policies and, you know, terms and conditions, they're going to be a much lower number. So once all the items are processed, the system saves the sitemap.xml to that FTP root and overrides the old sitemap.xml file that already exists, or a new sitemap.xml file will be created. So additionally, the system will add the sitemap.xml link to the robots.txt file if there is no sitemap.xml link in the file. But if the robots.txt doesn't exist, it'll be created automatically. So one thing that you can have a quick look at is here is an example of a sitemap where we haven't set the priorities. So as you can see, the priority is just totally left out. So that's something to consider. If you don't add the priorities, they're not going to show up in here. More information though on sitemaps, and to get a really good idea about what the formats are, how they work, some of the little, you know, tweaks that you can make to them, is at sitemaps.org. It's a really, really good resource. Also goes through a little bit more about priority and default page priority and things like that. So look, there's another item that I just wanted to go through too, and it's something that I noticed when we were going in using the WYSIWYG recently, is there's a new rel equals tag that is created when you add a hyperlink in the WYSIWYG editor that opens a new tab, and it looks like this. So it has no opener, no referrer. So just thought I'd mention what that was about, because that's probably something that most BC partners won't have had to deal with in the past. So it actually requests site isolation. So it stops any performance issues or slower site speed due to the new window or tab running when you're actually clicking on it and it's opening a new blank window. So this stops any security issues too, allowing for unsolicited redirects. So it's a really great added bonus. And it's automatically added every time you create a target equals blank through the WYSIWYG editor. So that's really good because your clients don't need to know about how to add it. It's just going to add automatically. And there's a little bit more information just about preventing users from pasting, sorry, not wrong one. I'll go back to this one. Here we go. Links to cross-origin destinations. It's taking a minute to load. So in the tools for web developers, under developers.google.com, there's a really interesting article about links to cross-origin destinations, about them being unsafe, and about why the rel equals no opener and rel equals no referrer is so important. All right. I'll pop you back to Aaron.
Perfect. That's awesome. Thank you so much, Catherine. So I'm just going to get back to my agenda here. Thumbs up if you can see my screen. Good. Thank you. All right. So I'm just going to do a quick. I'm just going to do like super quick what we've been doing for migrations. You know, from taking information from BC to Treeple. Just quickly, a quick snapshot. I typically use FileZilla for moving files over. So I'll usually, what I'll normally do is I'll pull down everything from BC for a site into my local drive, and I will just make sure I have it, because you never want to move over anything that you don't have. And then I'll set up all my stuff in FTP using FileZilla. Make sure you use the explicit FTP over TLS. You put in your information, your partner info, and then your password, and then you connect. And then from here, I basically just open up my Finder, and I would find the files that I need. I'd start with pages first. I'd go into my Finder, I'd pull up, let's go here. I'd go import pages. So I just grab a few pages, and then I would just drag them in. Now, before you drag them in, you don't want to just drag them into the root folder, because the way Treepl's set up, your pages are actually inside your content folder. So just make sure you have this open first before you drag anything over. And this includes your sub pages as well. So if you have folders within here, you want to put all this stuff in your content pages. So from here, I would just drag it in. Now, this also happened in BC when I was moving a site from, say, WordPress into BC. It's great when you drag everything in. It's not going to pull over the actual page name. So you actually have to go and manually update all these page names every time you go back in. So, I can't get into here. So, okay, so we are still in maintenance mode. Just so everybody knows, we're still in maintenance mode. So I can't really show you anything here yet, which is a good thing because we're getting to version 3, which is super promising here. So just while I'm talking here, if you pretend to be in Treeple right now, you would just go in and update the page name. The URL would stay the same. And then you just want to make sure it says .html because everything's being run as .html. Now the actual page that you would see wouldn't have the .html. It's already appended into the URL, but just make sure. So if you have any .htm files, from what I gather, they don't work. It has to be .html as well. And then I would also move over all my assets folders. So any of your CSS files, your SCSS files, your JavaScript, all would move over there. So technically, you can move over all your subfolders. And then as of right now, that's pretty much all that you can sort of migrate over from Finder to or Explorer to via FTP. We don't really have access to menu layouts yet. I know you can get in here and make modifications, but I wouldn't use an editor like Dreamweaver or something like that. You'd have to probably use Atom or Visual Studio Code to actually properly open these. Because they probably won't open for you. But for now, I've been just making updates all my system files just online. So I try to get all my pages. I mean, it'd be a bit cumbersome when you have a site with 200 pages. You literally have to go through every single one and rename them. But at least the HTML, the URL is still the same. So I was going to show you guys. I wonder if I can I still get into the admin? Oh, apparently I can still get in the admin, so that's good. So another piece of the migration, so we got the website in there, everything's good to go. The other piece of this is we have a whole bunch of tags available to us, which I'm sure most of you guys know, but if you don't know, one of which is the request tag. The other one is this tag. And then just being able to output content from a variables collection as well. So for those of you guys who have not seen this here, I've just created a quick test page. I'm going to get rid of the commenting here for the meeting. Oops. Okay, so if I just outputted just with the request tag, so it's two curly brackets, it's going to format it like this, which is not very pleasing. So in order to fix that, just add the pre-tag, the pre-formatted tag. And from here, it gives you a nice clean representation. So now that you have this request tag, what can you do with it? Well, pretty simple. You could target a page. So you could say, I'm going to target request URL. And so for this page, the request URL is all this, and I can go, okay, I'm going to go request URL path, and so I could say, now I can target using this. So from here, I could say, okay, well, I can go if, oops. I know this is the worst thing with watching people type while they're doing coding here. Equals test. So now that I can actually define that variable, and if I hit refresh, and it's not showing up there, why is it not showing up there? If request URL path equals test, oh, diagnosis. There you go. So you can see that with the power of Liquid, you guys can actually pull a lot of really good data from here. So let's say you're wanting to target a particular device. If you want to target, device type tablet or mobile, because I'm pretty sure they've added tablet and mobile now. You can add this in here, so you could run some an if statement or an unless statement in there if you wanted to. I've been using cookies as well. So if you know how to use cookies, even like cookies.js, throw some simple JavaScript code in there, and then do an on click to actually create a cookie variable. It would show up right here. So you can target, if the cookie's set, then output this information. So that's one tag. The other tag is, get rid of this. The other tag is this. And so basically what this is it's outputting the content on this page or this item. I'm going to say this page because of custom modules, a page as well. So all the data that's on this page, your page ID, what the parent ID is, basically almost everything that's located on the actual page. So any of this kind of stuff you can grab is all right here. I typically use this if I need to grab the page ID, but I use the request before that. All right, get rid of this here. And the other one would be if you decided to pull some information from a variable, so from a collection. So let's say we want to pull some information from a custom module. So I'm going to create a quick thing here, list of items. We're going to choose documents, and we're just going to use list, and we're going to go by release date, field, no, get rid of that. Okay, we'll just keep it simple here. Objects, we're going to define it as a collection, and then we're going to create a variable of that collection. Test collection. And I paste that in there. And just by default, if you're ever doing this and you're creating a for loop or a collection, you probably want to get rid of your list view because it's not really meant for a, oops. Sorry, damn mice. Okay. So now that I have this variable in here, I can now I can see all the information that's within that custom module. So when I'm referring to a custom module, it's this particular module that I'm using right here. So from here, I can go and then I can output all the data in this collection. So I've hit refresh. And so I have your generic system settings, but I also have the custom one that I've created, which is icon, categories, and a whole bunch of other things. So I can say test collection, and then from here you could create your for loop. And then you can just grab your 4 items in test collection. I know I'm doing this wrong, guys, sorry, but I'll do this quick here. Let's see here. We're going to go. So if I want to just output the item, the icons, I can grab this guy, and I can say p item icon, and it'll probably loop a whole bunch of, because I have a million of these in here. Oops, what am I doing wrong here? 4 item in.
Aaron, you're missing 4 item in.
Ah, thank you.
Ah, sure.
That's why I have Peter. There we go. So it's going to loop through. Now, just note, I actually have probably 200 documents in here. By default, the system outputs only 10. So if you're ever finding it, that's the issue, is just add a limit. Just open up the limit to, I don't know, 500 if you wanted to. And it should show everything. So basically what this is doing is just looping through all of my items. Everybody following me so far? Good, thumbs up, simple. All right, the other thing I was gonna talk about, I was just gonna do a quick code snippet here as well, just to kind of show you what I did for a particular page on a website. And I think I showed you this last time, but I didn't really go into too much depth here. So one of my live sites that I have running is, I wanted something to accomplish what we had in BC was media downloads. I just found media downloads to be a bit limiting. Also the fact that I couldn't import export, it was just really frustrating. And for anybody that has millions of media downloads that have to like pull from BC to go to Treeple, you know what I'm talking about here. So basically what I've done for this particular site is I created a custom module. I was able to create an Excel file, import everything I need in, which was a lot simpler. But setting up a basic custom module for document downloads, just call it what you want. I know for when you're setting this stuff up, you want to define whether or not you want to have an actual detail page. So if a detail page meaning an extra URL, so document something, and then it's based off your items. For this particular one, I'm not going to use a detail page. You kind of go through this and go, yeah, I may need a release date and expiry date. I may need some weighting and categories. And then you define your custom properties. And for this particular one, I created my own custom properties, which are PDF, Excel, and Word. And then the actual document, so the PDF or the Word that you would upload. And then from there, I created two different list views. I have my standard list view, and then I have a sort of a no column list view as well. And then so from in here, I was able to target. So if you notice when I did the for loop, I was using item because that's what I defined my variable as. But within the actual module, you just call it this. And all your items are right here, that even the system generated items and also your custom properties. So I just created an if and else if statement. So if this icon equals PDF icon, I created a capture variable, so FA icon, and I have a font awesome 5. So basically it's going to loop through my if statement here to find out which icon it is for that particular item. And then I just added that variable right down here. And then so the end result was I was able to create my own custom icon. If I wanted to change it to a Word document or Excel, it would just change it based on this loop here. And then on the actual page, go to the documents page here. So on BC, I was using liquid for loops a lot, which can make your page massive and just super complicated if you have lots of things. But what I like about Treeple is I actually accomplished most of that just by using the list layouts. And I know BC had list layouts, but they were really limited, and the liquid output was a little bit strange. So I've actually been using this a lot more, and I've also been using it to create my own list views. So multiple and different list views as well. So, so in order for me to define what's on these pages, I just output the component source using that list view, and I'm filtering by item categories, and then make sure that the filter value is, and that's what I'm putting in each of these sections. So for the client point of view, if they wanted to add another board meeting minute in here, all they would do is just define that category, and away it goes, and it's on there. So anyway, so these are the kind of things that we were looking to probably go into more detail. They're probably not best suited for these types of meetings because we're trying to get through as much as we can. But moving forward for those how-to meetings, those are the types of things that that we'd like to do. And opening it up to the floor, but you know, if anybody's interested in running one of these tutorials, I know Peter's like jumping over the moon to try to have these sessions here, or Catherine wants to as well. But if anybody else has some really cool things they want to show off, there's certainly a lot of different things. I think for the first few meetings, just because we've had some amazing support from the Treeple team on a few things, including the custom map. So creating it using a custom module. I created basically a searchable map so you can filter by various parameters, and this is all being run by a custom module. Also doing some really cool filtering. So we have filtering using blogs and news articles. You can do it by category. It's some pretty cool things you can do now. And then we have a dynamic search as well. So those will probably be my first 3 that we show. And I think the best for these meetings, going through the the process, and then offering those code snippets at the end for everybody to share. So, sound good? Cool. So, I'm not going to go into too much detail because we're about 10 minutes in right now, left to go. I'm sure most of you guys have seen the partner plan pricing. If you haven't, go make sure you go to Treepl. I do know that for those that are paid partners, there was the partner website. So we just wanted to ask when we could claim that. So it's nice having Alex on here. Alex, if you wanted to just let us know about that.
Yeah, one sec. I have accidentally turned off the video. By the way, Aaron, I sent you a note today asking for like a couple of minutes for some updates, but I just figured it didn't went through. So if there would be a couple minutes with some updates, that would be great. Regarding the partner website, yeah, that's doable through. We would set it up manually, so you just send us email to support@treepl.co, and with a link to the website that's your partner website that you want to host, and we'll just activate it for you.
Cool. Thank you. Sorry, where did you send the note to me? In Slack or in the chat?
Yeah, in Slack. I just noticed it that it wasn't sent. I clicked try again, and now it's sent. So
okay, gotcha.
I was just asking for a couple of minutes if that's possible.
Gotcha. Okay, so it looks like we're pretty much in agreement that we're going to have a second meeting during the month, which for like a how-to session. I don't know if those are going to be necessarily one of those that you listen to in the background, so it'd be good to have some participation. So maybe you guys are doing what I'm doing or doing what Peter's doing while we're kind of teaching you how to do this stuff. But I think moving forward, I'll just do a quick, let's see here, screen share of. So we have been working on the Treehouse website, and I apologize for the delay on this, but as we all know, we're all doing our best to keep going here. So life gets in the way, and clients get in the way of doing this stuff as well. So, so we are putting together the Treehouse meeting. Thanks to John Schmidt for helping with the logo. So he did the logo here. Thank you very much. So we do have the Treehouse website. So we've already put the next meeting in here. So hopefully this works for everybody. Just a simple website. This will be our community website. We're still trying to figure out whether we're going to have, at some point in time, maybe in April, May, we're going to be looking at actually opening up a marketplace for apps. But we need to have that discussion still with the crew here, just to make sure it's better if we waited for the e-commerce portion to be finished as well. But in the meantime, we'll have a code snippet section of the site, where you can log in and get some cool tips and tricks. I don't know if I actually have it set up here yet or not, but no, probably not. You'll be able to go in and view past recordings in here. Again, we'll have snippets here. You can contact us, and contacting us as in the Treehouse team. The other thing is, it's always nice to get a good grasp of who is going to be attending, how many people are attending the meeting. So we may run the registration for the meetings through this website. I'm just not quite sure yet on how to do that yet. So we'll let you guys know. We'll let you guys know in the community, because right now we get, like, my biggest gauge is through Facebook, and we had 26 attending from Facebook today. But it'd be nice to get some, and especially if we get people on the mail list as well, then we can at least give you a heads up when the next meeting is as well. So I'm sure we'll end up having to use the website for that. But yeah, so this is the website. Feel free to go on it right now. There's still stuff on there. Add bottom nav. It's you guys all know what this is about. This is development, right? Cool. So right now is a good chance to go through while we're still waiting for the maintenance to be done. Yeah.
Can I give some updates on V3 and before we can go through the version 3 updates? By the way, I got to note that European server has been updated, so Europeans have V3 already. Well, first of all, I'd like to apologize for that we had to deploy during the meeting. We didn't plan that; it just happened. We actually started in the morning, so it took a while. I also like to thank you all. It's been a journey, quite a journey. We can't believe we're at version 3 already. So thank you all the partners for the patience, for the support, and for taking sites live. We have a monitor in our office with a sound count, site count, and we have a bell, a noise. Well, officially it's a bell, and that's actually a noise famous from Silicon Valley series if you watched it. And it rings every time we have a new website, and it adds up to our mood a little bit. We have accomplished in the last version, and version 2.4, we have accomplished massive infrastructure setup that took us a month. I think at the very first meeting, community meeting, I have introduced the infrastructure to you. Remember that scary scheme? So we have finally accomplished the biggest piece of it. So we can now, that made us capable of hosting tens of thousands of websites right now, which is a huge thing. And thanks for, on the public backlog, thanks for posting things and new requests and the feedback, especially on the existing modules. It would be great if we have more people vote, a little more active, so we can give more interaction from you guys. So just to let you know how we work, master plan is important. We confirm in that, but we always monitor public backlog, especially at the end of every sprint, to see urgent things. If there are any urgent things, so we could throw them into the public backlog, or they're easy things, or there are things that we have resources to do. So we also monitor live websites and trial sites, and we also get the feedback for migrated websites. So we take all that into consideration while we plan the next sprint. So the voting really does help. Now, as you may remember, one of the goals for version 3 was the support and enhancing the support. So we now have support ticketing. It works through code production. All of you are registered in code production. Now you have a separate tab for support tickets. So all the correspondence and everything will be in there, and you're welcome to use it now. We will be closing the hosting support 24/7 channel in Slack from starting next sprint. So it's still there right now, but now you'll be able to post if your website is down, if anything is critical, you'll be able to post to this ticketing system, and the admins will get the notification and will assist you individually through the ticketing system. We have a, may I share my screen?
Go ahead.
Okay, thank you. We have one thing that you guys have requested, but I don't think I have seen that in the public backlog. We now have a system status page. Do you see my screen?
Yeah.
So if you go to footer, in the footer, links for partners, there's a system status link. So if you click on that, you arrive to this page, and basically this is the area on the right is for the operations of the system, and on the left this is where we will put all the important updates on the Treepl state message regarding templates, template updates, Treepl core website updates, system updates. Well, for example, this is our first message we posted in here. So you can check that out. And we also are posting automatically through Zapier, if you're interested, to our Twitter. We have a Twitter now. So you can get welcome to subscribe. I will welcome to follow. I will post the the link. How did I do that? I can't find that check. Okay, here it is. Okay, I can't find my chat. If anybody can please post that. Oh, it's right here. And here is the status page. And we also have a Facebook page as well. You're welcome to, it's available right here actually. So I'll post this. Okay, next is migrations. Migrations and website. We're working, I'll be honest, we're working on a migration automated tool, and it seems like we're gonna make it work by buttons. So basically, you'll be able to migrate yourself without code production, and you'll be able to migrate pieces of the website or the whole website. It will be per module, and if you want our help, code production's help, you can to tweak certain things. You'll be able to request that. So starting February, so we're working on the very first version, and we hope to finish that in the end of January. So starting in February, migrations will go much faster on code production side. So if you have your websites in the line for migration, those would get much quicker. Would get migrated much quicker starting in February. And we're probably going to have beta testers for the migration tool. So we'll let you know within a January. Regarding the quicker migration of emails, I know you guys have been complaining about that. Well, BC guys, we've been contacting them a lot, and they told us that we need more. They need more requests from Treeple community and from others as well, from other BC partners. But I don't know how other CMSs solve this problem, but they said they need more requests to speed up things on their end. So basically, more requests we send them for migrating emails, our community sends them to migrating emails, that would give them more reasons to speed things and basically automate the process rather than going for support and stuff. OpenSRS had created an API, and they did a great job on their end. So we're ready, OpenSRS ready. We just need more interest, so to speak, and more activity from Treeple partners. Well, we have a little surprise for you. Thanks for, remember we sent that survey on templates, and thanks for filling it out. It was really helpful. So we have results of our of that cooperation, so to speak. So we got a new template. Here's a link. I posted that in the Slack. And this is a Bootstrap 4 template. It's for services. And you can take a look at that. It was finished today. It was sent for testing today. So it usually takes us 1 or 2 days to to test out the template and fix all the bugs. So you can expect that to be available in your partner portal. The latest is the next release, so it's January 23rd, but I think early next week is more realistic. Yeah, and it's free as for all the partners and the free partners as well. So we hope you're going to enjoy that. And of course, the nice compatibility, everything is in there. Next is, I'm almost done. You probably want to know what's coming for next sprint. We didn't announce it yet. Let me see. Yeah, public backlog, it's empty for now. So we're we're planning to work on events, and within 2 weeks deliver the first version of events. And our goal is to make it payable, at least for one payment gateway. We probably want to know which one we want it to be, whether PayPal or Stripe. I think I know the answer. Probably going to be Stripe. Correct me if I'm wrong. And,
Both would be great.
okay, both would be great. That's okay. Well, if you have an opinion, please let me know in the chat or in the Slack, or however you decide. That's it from our end. From my end. So if you have any questions, please let me know.
So Alex, maybe just stop sharing your screen for a sec.
Oh, sorry.
Thanks. Okay, so we're just going to go through some of the questions that have been consolidated in the chat.
Oh,
so this is sort of the last part of the meeting here. So Alex B do not show in search engine also hide it from the actual search engine, i.e., is it similar to a no index in robots.txt? From what I gather, and you guys jump in if you want to here, but from what I gather, it does not remove it from the TXT file, from the search engine file. But I could be wrong. I've assumed that if on the SEO tab, this is shown, do not show in search engines. I don't think it actually goes to it doesn't go onto the robots.txt file, because that's really just for assigning disallows, but I don't think it shows up in the actual site map. From what I gather, the disable from site search removes it from your sort of front-end integrated site search that you're using. So, when you type in searching for this and you hit enter and it goes to a search page, that's what it disables it from. But one thing I did bring up the other day, which I noticed, is when you actually check this, it also disables it from here. So I think that the two should be separate, I think. Because when you're searching through here, and if you've disabled certain, you have like 500 of them, you won't be able to search for them anymore, which means you're going to have to toggle through the pagination. So I tested this on a site that I was doing the other day, and because I disabled everything from search engine, I wasn't able to use this functionality anymore. So hopefully that can be fixed. I think the two separate things should be separately. So Alex, jump in if I missed something from you.
It does actually put a no index on the page when you don't have it enabled, just so you know, so that, that the page just doesn't get spidered at all.
That answers my question. Thank you.
Sorry, I gave you the long answer, but so it does put it on the page. Interesting.
Yes, it puts a no index, no follow on the page.
But just okay.
Not the site search, just the enable.
Right. Is that answering your question? Just because I just want to make sure I get this, because I have some non-indexed pages that are not searchable.
Yeah. So when you click in, not that one in the SEO tab.
Yeah, but I think this is what he was talking about, wasn't it? Wasn't this what you were talking about? This one?
No, I was talking about the one in the SEO tab.
Ah, okay, gotcha.
Yeah.
Perfect.
I just do this stuff to confuse everybody. Is there a max amount of items you can have in a collection? I think Vlad answered that in chat. I think there's no limit, right? Is that what he answered, Alex? When I was reading the chat?
Yeah, there is no limit for the collection.
Right. So of course, if you add 1,000 in there, it's going to take forever to load the page.
Yeah, the more items you request, the more time it will take in order to retrieve it from the database. And the more fields you have in one particular item, it will also increase the time. So be aware.
Right. Is there an option to export URL redirects from BC and import into Treepl? Catherine, you asked that. Can you explain that one a bit more?
Yeah. Look, one of the things that we do a lot of work for is correcting a lot of 404 errors, especially that come up in Search Console. So we have clients that literally have hundreds and sometimes thousands of redirects set up in BC. So one of the sticking points that we've got at the moment is how do we get those URL redirects out of BC and then import them into Treeple? So yeah, there's no real manual way to be able to take it. Like you have to manually basically out of BC. There's no automated way to export all that data. So that's one of the areas, I guess, that we're kind of stuck in, because it can literally take hours and hours to implement them manually and export them manually.
Yeah, 'cause it's nice having that function up here, which we do have. Yeah, especially if you're migrating from a WordPress site that has 1 million redirects.
Absolutely, and you just can't export anything out of BC. So I didn't know whether the new migration tool that's being built at the moment, whether that's something that gets taken into consideration there, or if we're still looking at having to try and manually create a new list offline that we can then, take in. We really need to be able to have an import option from the Treeple side too.
I can answer half your question, or kind of half answer half your question. I haven't got a good way to export URL redirects. There just isn't, as far as I know. But I know the BC team is actually willing to import them for you for a little bit of your partner credit or time. So I had a site that had 500 URL redirects, and there's no way I was going to spend or make somebody else spend the time to manually put those in. And they did it, and I think they charged me for 90 minutes or something like that. So that was time well spent.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I just put that in through the code production site, and they said they're willing to do other partial migration pieces for partners as well. So if you do have something that is really painstaking, but you think they might have an automated tool in the back end, you can at least ask the question.
I can pitch in on this. We actually do have, thanks for raising this, Alex. We have developers who do migrations all the day long. So our backend developers and Treeple developers, they help them out with some scripts to make things faster. And I know they have they have some script or something done for those guys. So speed up the import and export of URLs. So it's much faster than doing it manually. So you just submit request to code production, and they'll I think they have the migration credit, and they're just going to give you a cost. It's going to be it's reasonable, so it's going to save you tons of time.
Okay, thanks for letting me know. That's great.
I just got a note from we had a website that we did the URL imports to just today. So yeah, it's there.
Good to know. And just a little trick when you guys are doing URL redirects, if you're pulling in an old redirect with a .html, don't put the .html in the source area. Just leave it as just the URL. So just get rid of the .html, because it won't doesn't seem to work for me. So maybe that's just me. Last question here. Is it possible to make a manual sitemap XML file, just plain text file that we can submit to GWMT? Regan says that. I don't, correct me if I'm wrong, guys, but I don't think we can do that. You'd have to just manually create one on your own. I guess you could technically create a custom module where you could create your own and set up your defined priority fields and your last modified fields, and then output it that way. You could do it that way, and then just add it as a secondary sitemap for your website. That could be a possibility.
I actually did that to one early on, just before the automation came in, and where you can actually generate generate a sitemap.xml, where that button is. If instead you copy paste your information in there and hit save, but don't ever check the box to say you want it automated, it'll just save that content that you've added and just leave it there and not ever update it. So you can have it in there manually, and as long as you don't select that checkbox to say automated, it'll just save it and run that.
Cool. Okay, anybody else have anything else to say here? We're 15 minutes over here, but we're wrapping up the meeting here. So I think the next meeting is going to be February 5th. So we'll send some details on that. We'll send some details on the new website where you can register, what we're doing for the next sessions. We'll get that out to the community as fast as possible. Anything else?
Just got to note that Australian data centers has been updated with the version 3.
Okay.
If you want to do a quick one, you can.
Alex, well, I can't because I'm not in Oz, but Catherine, if you wanted to do a quick screen share of the new V3, or somebody from Australia wants to do it.
Europe or Australia.
It doesn't seem to be working for me from here at the moment still. So
Can you try, Peter? Because I know they started with Europe. It's the smallest. So just go to any website's admin, and then go to the settings, and there you will see 3 new items, which are called.
Oh, it looks like I have it too.
They're called admin users, admin user roles, and admin menu configurator. The admin menu configurator, I think, is the best to start. It's my favorite. That's what I've been that I really missed a lot in BC.
Peter, if you haven't found it, I have it up now. If you want me to show.
No, it's working.
Sorry, Peter. We have 2 Peters in here. I don't know which one I'm talking to.
Oh yeah, that's right, Peter Schmidt.
Okay. Okay, maybe I'll just show real quick. This is share. Okay. So, Alex, so what we're talking about is in the settings folder, right? And it's the admin menu configurator.
Exactly. So you can copy the whole menu, or you can, and then you can remove and move things around, or you can create your custom by clicking add new. But I think, yeah, or you can, yeah. So basically now drag and drop.
So I can remove things out of here.
Get the menu out of here into under analytics, for example. Or you can delete it. Okay, delete it.
I know this client here. Let's galleries and sliders, delete. Save.
And you can move things as well in and out of the.
Oh, sweet. That's really cool.
By the way, it refreshes menu automatically right after the save button.
You don't have, yeah. Don't touch.
For clients.
You can actually make you can disable them from editing that. They can view it, but not in the.
What did I do wrong here?
You didn't press save button.
Thanks, Vlad. Okay. There we go. I hit save.
And then you don't need to refresh.
Look at that. Very cool.
Okay, try moving things out of the menu. The best thing is, when you have a lot of custom modules and you want the client to just edit one, drag it out and put it under analytics. Take one of the custom modules here, not the whole custom module, just one, for example. One of the list.
I'm getting there.
Yeah.
Sometimes it just takes time to figure this stuff out.
Save.
Yes, thanks.
There's a save in the bottom. Save in the bottom
right,
when you
right there. So we're not able to. Are we able to update the icons yet?
I knew that question was coming. I don't think we don't right now, right? Vlad, we can't do it right now, right?
Yeah, they are set, but in the background. We will try to open it for editing, but not in the current version.
Yeah, we discussed that we knew that you guys are gonna request that.
Okay, so just to revert it back to my old version, I just clicked copy menu. It came back over here and hit save, and everything reverted back to where it needed to go. So that looks good. And then the admin user roles, we can define. Oh, awesome.
There's a lot of stuff in here.
Literally everything. And even the custom modules we created.
Yes, and there's a for secure zone. You see, there's add new module. You can, disable that. They're not able to add new modules. So disable that, and the certain user will not be able to add new modules. You can also make them view modules, custom modules, but don't edit them. The same with secure zone. If you open secure zones.
Right.
Yeah. So there's a lot of customization in here, like tons. I hope there's a lot of work for Adam. We'll see.
So probably the first thing we want to do for clients is to uncheck these ones, right?
Exactly.
Yeah, so that they don't have access to them.
Yeah,
But you have to find the role first. So you have to create the super admin role, which would be like us as an agency, and then you'd have your client roles, and then you would uncheck what they want. So
yeah,
very cool. And then once the roles are created, then you can actually go into the actual. Or do you assign people? Where do you assign people from? Oh, what's going on here? I guess this, Vlad, this must be just in a refresh. My the branding logo is gone.
You're an US data center, and when you don't see a logo, it's a sign that it's been updated at the moment.
Another thing that another thing I've just noticed in custom modules, we're trying to add items, and it just keeps refreshing back to the dashboard. So that might be worth having a quick look into. So every time we create a new web app, custom module, we hit create new, whatever the custom module is, and it just keeps flicking back to that analytics dashboard.
Can you okay,
I'll show you.
Oh, okay.
Okay, so I'm just in one at the moment, core portfolio, and if I hit create new, it's just flicking back to analytics. It just keeps doing it no matter which one I do it in.
I think you need to empty cache instead, because you see the logo is not there. I think it may have been right.
Yeah.
Yeah, let it update. Let it update. So in the system status, when we finish the update, you will see the message we have released version 3 successfully. So if it happens after that, and if you clear cache, please let us know. We're going to take a look.
Perfect.
Yeah, and by the way, if you will customize the menu, and then you will, for example, create new custom module, you will have to add it to the menu manually. It will occur in the default menu on the menu configurator, but not will be added to the customized menu. So just note that.
Cool. I think we are wrapped up for today. Thanks for everybody for attending. If anybody else has any questions, just post it in Slack or in Facebook, and we will get back to you. Thanks so much for Alex and Vlad and Alexei and all the Treeple guys for showing up, and for all of you guys for showing up as well. So we'll see you guys at the next meeting, or we'll talk to you on Slack.
Thank you.
Hey guys, thanks.
Goodbye.